Hey everybody, well, another video here on Poor Redneck World. Well, my friend here has got another pickup truck, and we're kind of scratching our heads on it just a little bit, so let's see what we've got. This is a 1990 Ford F250 Lariat Diesel with a 5-speed standard 7.3 liter international diesel engine. Purchase price, all of $1,500, still to be paid the remainder of. And no, we're not worried about the body damage. I think he's going to replace the bed at some point. Actually, the point of interest here is the engine itself. Neither myself nor my friend are highly fluent in the ways of diesels, despite the fact that we've had the Volkswagen, well, a Fox and a Jetta. One was diesel and then got converted. His dad has been a diesel head for years. Just about every truck I think he's owned probably has been diesel, despite the fact that we're not diesel mechanics. So anyway, here's what we got. 7.3 international V8 diesel engine is an extremely hard to start engine, and we don't know what's going on. So I'm going to post this video in hopes that maybe some of you YouTubers out there that are a lot more fluent in diesel engines and their idiosyncrasies than we are might be able to, I don't know, help us out. So the work that we've done so far in order to combat this difficult starting situation is the control module that operates the glow plugs has been replaced. It was rotisserie fried when he checked it out, so that was what, 60 bucks or something like that? 90 bucks. Okay, 90 bucks for the module that operates the glow plugs. Oh, and he still has the old rotisserie fried piece of shit. Okay, so here's this $90 part. Got a brand new one. Okay, so as for the glow plugs themselves, all but one are working. The one on the driver's side head, very front, is plugged in but is not working. Other than that, all 7 are glowing and doing what they're happily supposed to do. Additional work, he did find some fuel leaks. One was on the fuel filter bleeder was loose. Tighten this sucker up. And there was some leaks on some fuel return lines, which was leaking and weeping and making a mess, so he took care of all that. Thinking that the lack of pressure in the fuel system might have been the culprit. Additionally, these are 2 brand new batteries. The old batteries that were in it didn't seem to have quite the cranking amperage necessary to crank this engine over. At least it didn't sound like it. And, well, that's pretty much the extent of what he's done to this truck to try to combat the starting problems. When he bought the truck, the only way to start it would be to hit it with a little ether starting fluid down the throat of the breather. Now, before any of you diesel heads out there poop your panties and start screaming, oh my god, don't spray diesel on a diesel, or don't spray ether on a diesel engine, yeah, we already know all that. We know that starting fluid on a diesel engine is not a good thing and all this other stuff. Well, you know what? It's really the only way we knew to get the truck started, and it's not like we used a shit ton. The truck will start now without ether, or so I'm told, but you have to cycle the glow plugs like what, 5 times, turn the key on and off or whatever, to, like, I guess build enough heat in the combustion chambers to get the truck to start. And even then it will crank and crank and crank and crank, and eventually, if you're fortunate, fire. The only other point of interest that I'm going to put on the film at this point, which has nothing to do with the difficulty in starting the truck, is the unique modification that the previous owner did. The contact points in the ignition switch are bad. You have to turn the key really hard in order to be able to get this thing to start. So instead, you just turn it to the on position, and we've got our nice little push button there on the dash. It works. It actually works better than the key, far better. So, without all that having been said, you can go ahead and cycle it, and then tell me right before you crank it. I've actually got somebody to help. I've got the vehicle owner. And we're just going to let this video run, unedited, unabridged. The first time I drove this truck home after he purchased it, it smoked like a freak show. So he's cycling the glow plugs right now, which basically just turn the key on, let it set until the light goes out, turn it off, turn it back on, let it set for a minute, just on, off, on. I don't know if that actually does anything mechanical or electrical. I don't know if glow plugs cycle once and that's what they do, or don't know, but this is how he starts the truck. Okay, he's gonna crank it. Not yet. Probably gonna hit the glow plugs again. With the ether, it'll fire right up. It wouldn't have even cranked that long. But we all know ether's not good on diesel. Yeah, I can hear him cycling it. Should have stood on the other side. Cycling the glow plugs again. I hope he gets this truck started soon, because I gotta keep this video short. Alright, here we go. Maybe. Come on. Oh. And there you have it. It starts. After all that cranking. How many times did you have to cycle the glow plugs on that?
I just do it every so often.
Okay.
Probably.
And the temperature outside right now is not cold. I would say the temperature is in, what, 70s? 60s? High 60s, low 70s. Now, that's another thing I want to point out there. Look at the intermittent smoking. Smoke, smoke, smoke. It's intermittent. It's not a constant thing. It comes in puffs. The intermittent smoking, to my way of thinking, suggests a possible problem with injectors. But again, I'm not highly fluent in diesel engines. And it does clear up quite a bit as the engine warms. When I drove the truck home the day he purchased it, it was smoking like crazy. It would sit here and smoke all the while that I'm talking. It would be smoking this whole area out. And then when you take off and drive, it would smoke primarily when you shifted. Put to the gears, let up on the accelerator, put the clutch in, it would throw a long plume of smoke out until you grab that gear and keep going. It does, see, there's that intermittent smoke. It'll continue to do that. Don't know if that's an injector that's causing all of this between the smoking and the difficult starting. Does the odometer on this thing show accurate mileage?
No, I had to replace it.
So we don't know what kind of mileage is on it?
Over 200,000 miles on it.
Okay, well,
I got the original one somewhere in the truck.
it's an over 200,000 mile truck, but for diesels, that's not really supposed to make a hell of a lot of difference. Diesels are supposed to just go and go and go. How does the truck behave if you shut it off right now and then restart it? Will it do the same crap?
No, it'll start up.
Or it'll start right back up? So we only let it run a minute or two. He killed it. And it starts right up. So it's just the initial startup. The initial startup on this truck, if it's been sitting overnight or been sitting for a few days, does exactly what you just saw. It does not want to start, even with you cycling the glow plugs. So the question is, you can go ahead and kill it. You can go ahead and kill the motor. So the question here is, and I'll let him shut down the engine. Obviously, diesels are loud. So the question here is this just an idiosyncratic engine that this is just something what he's going to have to deal with? Or is there a culprit here? Is it the injection pump, which is constantly looking like it's taking a bath in diesel anyway? Are the injectors fouling up and not giving us a good strong spray? Is there some other issue that we need to be aware of? Or is this one of those things where, yeah, if you've got one glow plug that's not behaving, it actually affects everything? So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to ask anybody out there that knows diesels better than we do to comment below and give us any good advice as to what we need to look for next, because we don't like having to crank so hard on this engine to get it to start. Thanks for watching, and I'll get this video uploaded as soon as possible. Peace.